Hey everyone, Eddie Wilson here with the Think Realty Video Podcast. As you can see, I'm not Avi Golhar, but I am excited to be standing in for him. I'm the founder and CEO of Think Realty, and so excited to be able to come to you periodically like this and bring you some of my favorite guests. I have the distinct privilege of bringing someone on today that I know can change your real estate investing strategy to really make a difference in your life. And that's what I want to do. I want to always make sure that we put the right people in front of you so that if you watch them, listen to them, follow the path, they can make a difference in your life and in your real estate investing strategy. But before I get into our guest, I want to say a quick thank you to our podcast sponsor, which is Real Property Management. Thank you so much to Real Property Management for making this show possible. They're the largest residential property management franchise in North America. They manage tens of thousands of properties for individuals, investors, and institutions throughout the country. You can learn more about them or reach out to them at realpropertymanagement.com. That's realpropertymanagement.com. And you can also call them at 888-806-7088. That's 888-806-7088. Would definitely vouch for those guys. If you are in need of property management, make sure you reach out to them. And also tell them thank you for making this show possible. And I love it when you all support our supporters. So thank you guys so much for that. Let me get to our guest. I've got a guest that I'm really excited about. It's a little outside of your traditional real estate strategy. This guy makes your real estate strategy possible. And I'm excited about it. He has been a great supporter of our Think Realty events. And if you've attended our events, you've probably seen him or heard him. And if you haven't, you have missed out. If you've come to a Think Realty event and you've missed his presentation, you've missed out on one of the gems that we have to offer as Think Realty. Brent Kesler has a method called the Money Multiplier. And I'd like to welcome him to the show. Brent, thank you so much for coming on and being a part of the show. We're excited to have you today.
Hey, Eddie, great to be here. Thank you for inviting me on. I'm excited.
Absolutely. You know, I kind of just introed, you and the Money Multiplier Method, but why don't you just take, and I know we've got a short podcast and it'd be really difficult for them to understand all of this in this bite-sized piece of, of content. But if you don't mind, kind of 30,000 foot view, tell us what it is and kind of get them started on this pathway of thinking about what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. And this concept, it's okay. So like it goes back to something called the infinite banking concept. And there's a book out there by a guy named R. Nelson Nash. And actually, he wrote the book called Becoming Your Own Banker. And this book completely changed my financial life. So anyway, I found myself back in early of 2008. So actually, I was in debt $984,711. That's what I owed to the creditors. I owed that to the third-party creditors. My background is in chiropractic. I'm actually a chiropractor. I own 5 clinics in the Kansas City area. I no longer practice anymore. I sold all my clinics, and now I teach this concept around the country. I do this full-time. And actually, I was able to take this process and this concept, and I was able to implement it in my life. And I was able to pay off all of that. I was able to pay off all of that debt, Eddie, in 39 months, in 3 years, in 3 months. I never had to work harder, didn't have to change my cash flow, take any additional risk, or I never lost control of my money. All I did was added one step in my financial life, and it totally changed the game. So probably the quick, as far as a view of it is just think of the debt and the expense that you currently have right now. So, for example, the thing that you're doing is you're buying cars, right? You're probably buying at least one car for your family every 5 or 10 years. Mm-hmm. And So anytime that that the thing that you do is you go out and buy a car, the thing that you buy it is only, there's three ways that you buy it. You either pay cash for it, you bank finance it, or you lease it, right? So the thing you have to do is you have to take your money, you have to give it to the car dealer, and they give you the car. So the car dealer, okay, now gets the cash and they give you the car. Everybody walks away completely happy. The transaction is done. But the dollars that you gave for that car, those dollars are totally gone. They've left your family forever. So the thing that I'll do is I'll show you how to get all the money back for all the cars you're going to buy, drive, and own. So not only do you have the car, but you also get all the money back so you're able to buy the next car. And if it works for a car, it works for a boat, it works for a bicycle, it even works for a purchase of a house or real estate. So what we're doing is turning liabilities into assets, and we're turning the depreciating assets into appreciating assets, because now we're recycling and recapturing all of those dollars that have been going out to other people.
Now, I've heard you talk about recycling and recapturing at the conferences a lot. That's a big part of the method of what you do, the methodology. And I know that you leverage, life insurance policies and things like that. Would you mind just going just a step deeper into that so that they can, have at least a basic concept of what that is?
Sure. And again, the concept is based on, so the machine that is going to be used to build our wealth, it's actually a whole life insurance policy in a mutual company that pays dividends. Now, that's the machine that we are going to use to build our wealth. And you're probably thinking, well, how in the heck does a whole life insurance policy help me build my wealth? That's what I thought the first time I heard this information. What does a whole life insurance policy have anything to do with me building my wealth? Well, the number one reason that this is the machine, this is the vehicle that we're going to use, is because this is what the wealthy use. This is what the rich do. The number one purchasers of whole life insurance in the world are conventional banks. Conventional banks own more in whole life insurance than all of their land and their buildings combined. As a matter of fact, since 2013, I believe, so conventional banks have more than quadrupled their portfolio of the amount of whole life insurance that they own. Now, why would conventional banks own so much whole life insurance? Is it because they're stupid, or they know something the rest of us don't know? It's because they know something the rest of us don't know. So this concept, it's not like what you've heard before, because look, I get it. When you hear the word whole life insurance, your mind completely zones out and you think, oh, it's life insurance. I know everything there is to know about life insurance. No, you don't. You've never seen a policy designed this way. This policy has to be designed for maximum cash value. We're not focusing on the death benefit. We're focusing on the cash value. And as long as I can solve your need for finance, right? As long as I can solve your need to be able to take care of all of your purchases, to be able to finance all your purchases through your own banking system, you'll have more life insurance and death benefit than you can ever imagine. So what we're doing is using the tools that the wealthy use, and it's designed a specific way. Now, anyway, Eddie, this concept is not brand new. It's not on trial. It's not something we're testing. It's been around over 200 years. Our tax code's only been here since 1913.
Right.
And I'll remind the audience that the thing is, our country did just fine before the tax code came about in 1913. Right.
That was a good little plug right there. I like that one.
Absolutely. So all we're going to do is we're going to mimic what the wealthy do. Like if you go do some research, like if you look up Walt Disney, and if you look to see how did Walt Disney fund Walt Disneyland back when he was getting started, he used it through this concept. How did Ray Kroc Okay. So like go through and start McDonald's. And as a matter of fact, how did he start that mascot we all know as Ronald McDonald? Where did that money come from? Look at Pampered Chef before Warren Buffett purchased Pampered Chef. Where did that money come from to fund Pampered Chef? J.C. Penney's, Stanford University. You can look at Woolworth. There's so many different people and organizations and companies that you know about that have used this concept in order to build their organizations, their businesses, or their real estate empire. But it's something we've never been taught.
Right.
Because it's not conventional thinking. What most people think is, hey, let's put our money in a 401k, an IRA, a mutual fund, a qualified plan, and that'll work out good for us.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. How many people do you know that are at retirement age that are still working at retirement age because their pension, 401k, IRA, qualified plan did not perform the way that they thought it would?
Right. And, to your point, and I have met so many and hang out with a lot of wealthy people. And I've heard this concept, I've heard it for the past 10 years. Getting your mind around it is a little difficult sometimes because it is a new concept for someone who grows up in a middle-class family, who, you're told to go to college, you're told to I was always told, hey, make sure you max out your 401k. If they're going to match it, that's free money, and we're all taught the same thing, and there's this whole other group of people that operate completely differently, completely separate. To me, the most interesting one was when Mitt Romney, I don't know if you remember this, but when Mitt Romney showed his tax, when he was running for president, and then they showed the income he made and the amount of taxes that he paid, I think the whole world, if they were smart, they went, okay, hold on a second. He's doing something very differently than I am, and somehow he is funding his retirement, and he's not paying taxes on it. There's something radically different on how this wealthy, extremely wealthy man operates than the way I operate. And the more I hang out with the ultra and super wealthy, the true billionaires in this country, the more this concept is always talked about. And so I'm fascinated by it. I actually just signed up with you, I'm very interested in it. I'm jumping in. And it is interesting. I've heard you say it a couple times that this concept's been around for 200 years. It's not like it's on trial. It's not like Congress is coming after this concept. This concept, and here's the fascinating part. If you look at it in the research I've done, a lot of times it was the wealthy working hand in hand with legislators to create these vehicles to ultimately allow it to happen. So when the wealthy create legislation, is it to benefit the lower class or the middle class? No, it's to benefit them. And this opportunity is there to benefit them. And so I love it. I mean, it's a pretty amazing thing. Help them understand just a little bit deeper about how they are investing, because I think you're right. We hear whole life, we think one thing, we think about the death benefit, we think about the borrowing capability based on the seasoned product. And when I've watched you explain it, spreadsheet after spreadsheet, it blows my mind, the ability of the consumer to borrow against it and really find cash value that then offsets, like you said, turning your liabilities into assets. So can you just go a little bit deeper into how the process works? I know that we're going to have to get them to your site to watch a full presentation so they really understand it, but just go just a tad deeper into it.
Yeah, well, yeah. So anyway, kind of what you said, this is a paradigm shift. It's not what we've been taught about money. It's not what our parents taught us, not what our grandparents taught us, not what our friends, our colleagues, and our coworkers are doing, right? So if you notice in my presentations that I do, a lot of times, if a time allows, or at least I talk about it, I have you go and watch this thing called the backward bicycle video. It's on YouTube. So if you just Google YouTube, or if you go to YouTube and click in the backward bicycle, that is a great video to watch before you watch my presentation, because it helps to get your mind right. Because again, this is unconventional thinking. It is a paradigm shift. It's not what we've been taught. So anyway, that's something that I have people go and watch that YouTube video, the backward bicycle. But so the way the concept works basically is And all the numbers that I share with you in my presentation, they're not numbers that I make up. I don't make these numbers and put them on these sheets. They're numbers that come directly off of the policy illustration, and they're guaranteed numbers. And just like you said, Eddie, you're getting started with this process in your own life, and you will see that before you ever sign, before you ever accept and agree to take your policy, all the numbers that I've been going over with you that I show you in my presentation come directly off of that policy illustration from the insurance companies that have been around and paying dividends for well over 100 consecutive years. So all the numbers are right there in writing, and the guaranteed growth, because it is a whole life policy in a mutual company that pays dividends, and it's structured specifically for high cash value in the banking concept. So every year is better than the year before. Okay, today's better than yesterday, tomorrow's better than today, because of the guaranteed growth and the cash values inside of the policy. The cash value continuously goes up, and the death benefit continuously goes up. Now, the thing that we have to wrap our heads around first, and I show this in my presentation, and I'll just touch on it slightly right now, is that I'm going to prove to you, okay, so like just pretty much very early in on the presentation, I'm going to show you how you can borrow money at a higher rate than what you're earning. And I use the example of the thing we do is we borrow at 6 and we earn 4. So if I told you, I said, hey, Eddie, can we make money all day long borrowing at 6 and earning 4? In your mind, you're thinking, no, that's not possible. Because if I borrow at 6 and earn 4, I'm losing 2%. But I go in and I just go into the dynamics of this, of how when you're borrowing at that higher rate and you're paying down, okay, so like when you're paying down the loan, you're paying down that principal balance. So the borrowing power, the borrowing loan is going down. It's on a decreasing balance. And that guaranteed growth rate of 4%, right, just that I use in an example, is what you're earning. So that's going up on a consistent basis. So one goes down and the other one goes up, but our minds aren't programmed to think that way. We think if we borrow at 6 and earn 4, that we lose 2. Now, the other thing I'll say about it is when we borrow from the insurance company, right? When we take our dollars out of the policy, we are not taking our dollars out. We are not going in and getting our money out of the policy. The thing that we're doing is we're putting our policy up for collateral, and we're taking a loan from the general fund of the insurance company. So all of our money is still in our account. All right, all of our money. So for example, like if I go out and I do a deal, and let's say I'm going to loan somebody $100,000 for a real estate deal, and I'm going to get 10% interest on that money. And let's say it's going to be you, Eddie, that's going to loan the same person $100,000, and they're going to and pay you 10% as well. Well, see, here's what you have to do. All right, the thing, in order for you to get your 100,000, you have to take that 100,000 wherever it's at right now, wherever it's sitting right now. And now what you're going to do is you're going to loan it to that individual, and they're going to pay you 10% interest, and you're good with that. You're like, hey, yeah, 10% interest on my 100,000. That's fine. I'll take it out of where it's at right now, because it's probably not earning 10% sitting in your conventional bank or your CD or money market account. Now, okay, so I'm going to make the same loan for $100,000, and I'm going to get 10% interest. But the difference between me and you, Eddie, is that $100,000 that I'm making as a loan, it never left my family. That $100,000 is still sitting in my account, compounding and growing at a guaranteed tax-free interest rate of at least 4%. So not only am I earning the 10%, right, that the both of us are earning on the loan, but I'm also earning the money that's still inside of the policy. So I'm double dipping in a way. And this is huge for real estate. I mean, people that do real estate, it's all about cash flow,
Sure.
right? So how much of your money do you want growing and compounded and you're using it at the same time?
Right.
So this is a concept and a principle where you can use your money. You can use your money to buy the real estate that you want to buy, but the money never leaves your family. So it's still going to grow as if it was all in your account and you're using it at the same time. There's no other vehicle on this planet with these features and benefits that performs this way. And if there is, I ask this, I speak at 50 to 70 live events a year. And I ask the audience, I said, if you can find me another vehicle with these features and benefits, okay, that like performs this way, tell me what it is, because I've been looking for 13 years and haven't.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I hear you say that every single time, and every time I get so excited about it because, I'm a passive real estate investor. I'm not out looking for deals anymore. Oftentimes I'm lending. Oftentimes I'm buying a turnkey property. Somebody else is managing it. I'm getting involved in a syndication of a multifamily deal. And so when I heard you say that, it just like light bulbs went off. I was like, you're right. There is no other vehicle. I've never found one. And there's the taxable benefit to it. We are up on time, but here's what I want to do. If you're listening or watching out there, I understand that this concept may be completely new to you. I want Brent to tell you how to go and watch one of his presentations. Maybe, I know that they also publish a lot of the events he's at. Go see him live. I mean, go see him live, but for everyone that can't, watch the video on his site. I did it. When I said, okay, I want to do this, I wanted to understand it deeply. I went right and watched the video of him presenting it so that I can understand it greater. So, Brent, how do they find that video? What's the next steps for them to get involved?
Sure. Okay, so go to the website, www.themoneymultiplier.com. TheMoneyMultiplier.com, themoneymultiplier.com. If you scroll to the bottom of the homepage, it's going to say members area. Click on that little box that says members area and just type in the password, all lowercase, bank with Brent, BANK, then with is going to be It's going to be WITH, Brent, BRENT. So bank with Brent, all lowercase, okay? And then the thing you can do is you can watch the full presentation, which is about an hour and a half long. And it's also broken down into 10 individual sections if you prefer to watch it that way. So if for some reason you missed that and you didn't catch it, here's what you do. Take down my cell number and text me, and I will send you the presentation. I'll send you the details of how to get it. And my cell number is 785-248-9637. One more time, 785-248-9637. And if you text me, I'll just go ahead and I will text you back with the link. Now, the other thing you said, Eddie, is at the bottom of our website, on the side, I think it's on the left-hand side when you scroll down, it shows all of our speaking events of where we're going to be, and that's constantly changing. So you can see the town of where I'm speaking live on that website.
That's awesome. And I got to tell you, you are one of the favorites at the Think Realty conference, and I really appreciate you coming out and speaking there. I know I'm excited about getting started. And by the way, I hope you're okay. We may have about 400,000 people watch this show. So if you get 400,000 texts, that's kind of your own fault. So I hope you're ready to manage that. I don't know that we've ever.
I'll pay those data and messaging rates.
Matt, have we ever had anybody give out their cell phone on our podcast? All right, that's a first, Brent. Very cool. I appreciate that. But I love that you're so accessible. And guys, I am entering into this. I wouldn't recommend it if I wasn't willing to try it myself. And Brent has been really responsive, and I know you will enjoy the process. Go on there and watch this video. I think here's the deal. You as a real estate investor are only going to be different based on the people you meet, the books you read, and the concepts that you walk through. And many of you, I've met you on the road. I've talked to you, and you are radically different than where you were 3 or 4 or 5 years ago because you got into real estate investing. check this concept out. I've watched the testimonials. I've talked to the super wealthy friends and relationships I have. All of them are involved in things just like this. You've got to find a way to get outside of the crowd of what everyone else is doing. This is a way to do that. And so take the time, go watch it. You owe it to yourself and you owe it to your family to understand these concepts. Do you have a desire to be wealthy? Do you have a desire to make a difference in your life? Then follow this pathway as far as it will lead you and see if it will make a difference. And then you make the choice. You decide if it's something that's good for you and your family. I've decided that I want to try it. I'm going into it because I've watched it. It makes a lot of sense, and all of my very wealthy friends are doing the exact same thing. So, Brent, thank you so much for joining us. I know on a heady conversation like this, sometimes a 12 to 15-minute podcast just seems so short. But I appreciate you breaking it down to bite-sized pieces, being willing to do that, and also being so accessible to our listeners. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, Eddie. And so thank you. And also just remind your listeners, they can always come and see me at a Think Realty event.
Absolutely.
Because I plan on attending all of them in the future.
Yep.
It's an awesome event. You get so much value and information, and I love speaking on your stage.
Very good. Yeah, Brent will actually be speaking at the Atlanta one coming up in September. So if you're in the Atlanta area, make sure you stop out and listen to Brent. But again, thank you so much, Brent. This sponsor and this segment has been brought to you by Norada Real Estate Investments, your premier source for cash flow investment properties. Visit turnkeyrealestateinvestments.com. Talk to my good friend Marco Santarelli if you're into passive investment strategies, and he can help you out with all of your turnkey needs. Again, his website is turnkeyrealestateinvestments.com. Thank you, Think Realty, for watching today and downloading the podcast, being a part. Continue to engage with us on all of our social media platforms. Reach out to us. Let us know the questions you have. Let us know what you think about the podcast and the guest we have. We try to put the best right in front of you because we value you as a customer of Think Realty. We value you as that consumer that's giving us that feedback. So thank you guys so much, Think Realty, for watching and listening and downloading and being a part of the Think Realty platform. Have a great day and good luck with your investing strategies here in the near future.